Coming into fall anime 2025, it was looked at as a mid-seasonal anime. There were some top-end sequels, but there was a lack of original anime that would really make fall 2025 memorable. But of course, there was some hidden gems, animes that didn't live up to its hype, and some anime movies that were absolutely insane. All the animes I talk about in this video will be listed in the description with their timestamps. Now let's get into the first anime.
白菜ありがとう。
違うでしょ。お店の会計を私に押し付けて逃げたことをちゃんと詫びなさいよ。
ああ、忘れてた。ごめん。
Here is the biggest disappointment of the year, and maybe of all time. One Punch Man Season 3, what have they done to you? I don't know what else I can say about this anime that hasn't been said already. I made a video about it when it was 2 episodes in, and this anime did not recover. You know when anime is bad? When you see memes about it right away. But what's worse than that is that after a couple episodes, you didn't see any more memes making fun of it. Everyone got so sick of this anime that we stopped making fun of it. With this one season, it might be a franchise killer, but I'm sure they'll come up with another season.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Here we have the second half of the garbage anime. And this garbage anime is not trash. I really like the second half of the season because they went all out. The fights were insane, the animation looked sick, and the CG was alright, which many anime studios don't really get right. I did see some complaints about the animation, but the people who complain are spoiled. It's not the best, but it's definitely not near the worst. They continue the world building, and we see a lot of different areas, more characters, their motivations, and just what's going on in the story. The cliffhanger was quite something. I need that second season. Gachiakuta hits you in all the feels. You get hyped for the fight scenes, you laugh at the comedy, and you might shed a tear with some of the characters' backstories. But my favorite part of the second half of the season is that one of the characters pull out the strongest weapon in anime history, a gun. And what she does with it is what all anime characters should be doing in their fights. A second season is announced, so if you haven't watched this, I highly recommend it. It's great through its entire 24th season and extremely bingeable. Next is Jujutsu Kaisen Execution. Here we have the JJK movie that was more of a reminder that JJK is coming back. I did watch this in theaters because I couldn't miss out. I feel like seeing the movie is really reserved for fans that are more into the series than someone that is not as into it. This movie is not necessary for the upcoming season. You're not missing anything for the next season. But it did show us basically the first 2 episodes of the next season, and that shit was crack. The animation budget definitely got improved because some of those scenes were crazy, and it was really nice seeing it in the big screen. Same with the Shibuya arc. Seeing some of those fights again on the big screen was pretty mesmerizing. I really enjoyed it, but we all know this movie was just to hype up the next season and to make a little extra cash. I am excited for the next season because shit is about to go down. I do have one complaint though, is that when they were showing the rules of the culling game, it went by so quick, nobody had time to read that, unless you knew how to read Japanese. When it was happening and going by so quick, I was just laughing because I knew everybody felt the same as I did.
まだこれ夢?
何寝ぼけてるんだ!
Next is Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze arc. This movie was absolute cinema. You had to see this in theaters because on the big screen, everything was pushed to 100. I really like the decision to make it a movie for this arc. I know this arc isn't that long anyways, so to put it in a season, it only would have been like 6 episodes, but the movie was a smarter decision and it made a lot of money. The animation was amazing, the fight scene was great, and once they started boxing, it was non-stop. I do have a small issue with it, which happens in a lot of anime, is that when these characters are fighting, they're trying to kill each other, and then when it gets to the end, they just don't. They change their mind or something happens that killing isn't necessary anymore. So they went through all of that just not to kill each other. It's understandable in the story to keep it going, but it's just a tease. You definitely have to watch this movie to get the next season. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Go watch this.
鶏に餌やらなきゃいけないんだ。
Next is Fujimoto Tatsuki, 1726. Here's the anime by Fujimoto Tatsuki, where these are stories that he wrote between the age of 17 and 26. Anime loves this guy because whatever he puts out is straight heat. This man cannot miss. And putting out a short anime where each episode is a different story, and it's all great. In each of the stories, you can see the building blocks that he will use in his later works, like in Chainsaw Man or Look Back. Each story is unique, they make you go through all the emotions, and just the animation is so good. I believe each episode was done by a different studio that he's worked with, and they all look great, and it brought some uniqueness for each episode. There's no consensus which episode is the best one, and that's pretty cool because everyone has a different experience when watching all of it, and everyone has their favorites. If I had to choose, I would say the Sisters episode is my favorite one because it just hits you in the feels, or the Assassin Vampire. That one was pretty good too. If you haven't seen this, watch it because right now this man cannot miss an anime. Next is 100 meters. This movie was pretty great. Our main character Togashi is born to run. As a kid, he was naturally gifted and wins every 100-meter race without effort. One day he meets Komoya, a transfer student with full determination but lacks technique. Togashi teaches him and gives him a new purpose to win no matter what. Years go by and they meet again as rivals on the track. This movie was getting a lot of praise before coming out in the US, and I see why. This is one of the better sports adaptations because it's more than just a sport itself. It goes into athletes' psychology, the mental and physical hurdles they go through throughout their career, whether it be from the young age or when they're older and getting left behind. It shows the growth of these characters, and it's okay to ask for advice or help from people who paved the way. My favorite scene in the movie is when they first race each other on the track. The downpouring rain, the way it's animated, just perfection. The movie looks unique too with how the characters move. I don't know how they did it because it feels like it's a real person moving. It's a great sports movie, nice drama with it too, and the relationship between characters hits home. I recommend giving this a watch, and I believe it's on Netflix in the US at least.
探しても見つかんなかったから絶対死んだと思ってたぜ。いやーよかったよ生きてて。お前でかくなったな。みんな。
Next is Spy Family Season 3. If you're a fan of the franchise, you'll like the new season. It's the same spy comedy with hilarious moments, misunderstandings, and overall cuteness. I do like this season more than the last one because we get to learn about Lloyd's backstory and our characters get tested and they aren't there to help each other. Like with the bus hijacking, Anya has to save everyone. She has to use her skills to save her classmates and let the cops know where these terrorists are. Lloyd and Yor aren't there to save her, so she has to do it herself. Anya has continued to prove that she doesn't need saving because she's the captain now. Of course, we got the painful backstory of Lloyd, with the war changing him, and we get to understand why he does things a certain way and his feelings for the mission. The series is for everyone, and with this season though, I feel like it cemented itself as a successful franchise, and I feel like in the future, we will see the characters get tested more and put in situations where it might be a turning point for them. Great season for already great franchise.
言葉すら失ってる。生まれたてだ。大丈夫だ。放っておいても消える。
Next is My Hero Final Season. We have the end of an era with My Hero ending. If you see my past seasonal anime videos, I haven't been caught up on My Hero, and I really should. Especially with the last season, I heard it got a lot of praise, and I stopped around season 4, so I got a lot of catching up to do. Even though I'm not caught up, I did watch some of the scenes from the season, and my god, they really cooked. They went all out for this final season, and fans really enjoyed it. I know the manga readers hated the ending, but it seems like the anime fans, they really liked it. I do think My Hero got a lot of hate, especially toward the middle seasons, but now that it has ended, I feel like fans have started to appreciate it more, and it will go down as one of the best shonen animes. That's coming from the guy that hasn't caught up yet. So now that it is over, and you haven't watched the series, you probably should start now, because My Hero is great, and it's a very bingeable show.
似合ってる超似合ってる
全然可愛くないよ。そんなひらひらずっと見せられたら笑い死んじゃうよ。
これはマーチが選んだんだよ。謝って。
Next is 2 Year Eternity Season 3. I was really hyped for this one because I love the series. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Season 2, I thought it was still really good, but not as good as the first one. And I kind of feel the same way with Season 3. Fushi has hit the modern era, and I was excited to see how they were going to do it. Because the world has changed so much from what he has experienced, I wanted to see how he would react and how these other characters would adjust. I think it's fine for the most part, but with the episodes we got so far, it does feel like a setup for the second half of the season. This modern era is peaceful. Fushi is in the history books as almost like a god. A lot of the characters we've seen from the past have taken a backseat this season. They're really just used in the background. It does seem like they'll get some more screen time with the second half because it focuses on these new characters. Of course, this peaceful world, the Nokers are still here, but they changed a little bit. They still have a similar plan to take over people, but they only target people who really want to die. It's nice to see that they changed it a bit because Fushi has pretty much stayed the same. He still wants to eliminate all of them. It could take hundreds of years. It's just a bit frustrating that he has not progressed as a character. Now both him and the Nokers are kind of similar with what they want in this world, but they have different ways to achieve it. The Nokers are basically taking over people's bodies and not giving them that free will. Kind of like Pleberus, where Fushi just wants them to have the free will, but we all know peace never lasts, and the Nokers aren't the cause of that. This season, something is lacking. I still like it, but some plots just last a little too long. I do have hope though that the second half of the season will be much better than the first one.
そうだ思い出した聞いたことがあるぞ奴のあの女の本来の二つだわ狂犬姫
Next is May I Ask for One Final Thing. Here we have a villainous anime where our main character Scarlet is a boxer. She puts on the gloves and is ready to start swinging. Some might call her a female One Punch Man. There's real no explanation of why she's so powerful, except for she's been swinging since she was a kid. She was one angry child, from her annoying fiance, royalty treating her bad, or just being dumb in general. She solves everything with her fist. As this is a villainous anime, this anime is alright. It continues to add to the good villainous animes, but I found some enjoyable moments in here. I do like the protagonist because she gets off to fight people, and I get it because people continue to press her and she's about that fight. I do like how in the plot, the villainess is part of this world, whereas the heroine, she is someone from another world. So usually the heroine is the main character, but in here, she's a side character. She's trying to live that dream of the Otome game, but this villainess just had to mess it up. Some entertaining moments. I thought it was alright for a villainous anime, but it was different enough from the other ones that I found it enjoyable.
素晴らしい手触りだ。この際はっきり言っとくが、猫が好きっていうのはその場しのぎの方便じゃなくてマジだからな。
私も猫好き。
やれやれ、もう少しピリッとしてもらえんか。
Next is my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes. Here we have the first isekai of the season, where the entire class get isekai. They are greeted by the royalty, and of course they need their help. Our main character Akira, he sticks to the shadows. He doesn't really stand out from his peers, and with that he gets the assassin's class, which turns out to be pretty powerful. He is pretty suspicious of their current circumstances, and he does some investigating, and the royalty are up to something. So he leaves to find a way for him and his classmates to get back home. This anime is usually up my aisle. It's an isekai, our main character's overpowered, and he's smart enough to know something's going on here. I do like aspects of it, but something is just missing. That doesn't really pull me in. I wasn't that excited to watch it every week, even though there's a lot of positives with this anime. I like that some of the classmates split off too, because again, they feel something's off with the royalty and want to uncover the mysteries for themselves. The art design and animation's pretty good, the fighting scene's okay, and our two main characters get together. It's everything I want, but again, I just wasn't feeling it that much. It was average at best. When my expectations, I thought it would be above average. I don't know if it's just me, but in a lot of scenes, they're really close to the character's face. It felt like they wanted me to kiss the character or something. It's a fine isekai. It's better than your average ones we get every seasonal anime, but I definitely should have liked this more.
皮をつまみながらくっつけていく。
行く。なんか違う。
あんを入れすぎちゃったかな。次は少なめにして包んでみよっか。
頑張る。
Next is Campfire Cooking in Another World with my Absurd Scale Season 2. I was very excited for this anime, and it did not disappoint. It's like the first season, an isekai where our main character, he's not the overpowered one, but his familiars are. Well, that's not exactly true. He has all these stats and buffs that makes it impossible for him to get hurt or killed. But what he lacks in strength, he gains in cooking. This man is Gordon Ramsay, and he cooks his ass off for him and his team to have a good living. It's just a nice, chill anime that has some feel-good moments. It's funny, I like the dialogue banter between our main characters, and Sui has to be the cutest slime in all of anime. Overall, it's a great anime, I really enjoy it, and I hope we get a season 3.
よもや彼女がいたりしないだろうね。
は？おい待て、何企んでる。さっさと見せろ。離れろ。
にゃー。
Next is my friend's little sister has it in for me. Here we have a comedy romance anime where our main character, his sister's friend, is obsessed with them. It's one of those teasing anime where you wonder, are they gonna get together or not? Our main character is a little dumb. He always just plays it up that she's not into him when she's practically throwing herself at him. To be fair, she'd be dropping the, I'm just kidding. But come on, there's some scenes. She clearly likes him. There is more to the plot though than just a romance. He wants to get into the gaming industry. He's a game developer and he's trying to get into his uncle's business. But his uncle has one condition. He must play the part of his daughter's boyfriend. So you can see where this is going. Our characters pretend to be a couple. They probably start to fall for each other, mainly her. And his sister's friend, she gets jealous and start actually have feelings for him. I only watched like 3 episodes. I felt like I knew where it was going. But this anime isn't terrible. It's fine for what it is. It's just a generic romance anime, in my opinion, and I wasn't feeling it that much, so I dropped it.
私の子へのキスは霊俗を意味する。よく褒美として求められるのだが、僕としては恥ずかしくて苦手だ。
プレイかな。
Next is my gift level 9,999 unlimited gacha, Backstabbed in a Backwater dungeon, I'm out for revenge. Here we have a fantasy anime where our main character gets kicked out of the group. This plot point has been really popular the last couple years, and here's another one to the entry, but with gambling. Our main character Light, yes his name is Light, but to me there's only one Light in anime.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
He gets kicked out of the group. Well, not exactly. The group picked him up and pretended to be his friend and care for him, when in reality, they needed to sacrifice him. They brought him deep into the abyss and tried to kill him, but he got away by stepping in a teleportation trap. With him being stuck in the most dangerous part of the dungeon, he pulls out his gacha skills, pulling S tiers. They're level 9,999 and are extremely OP. For light, his gacha skill never really worked out. Every time he used it, he would get like a rotten apple, but it turns out the more mana around him, the better the pulls. He starts forming his army and is out for revenge. I found this one enjoyable. There are some nice comedic moments. The action scenes are alright, but sometimes it does look pretty good. These types of animes I don't have the highest expectations for, because we get so many every seasonal anime, they all blend together. And this one is slightly above average, I would say. I really like the design of the characters, because with his gacha skill, he pulls so many different ones, and they do make them look unique from each other. They do time skip within a couple episodes, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, because I want to see the progression of him building his empire, but they skipped all of that. It's a fine fantasy anime. Of course, people are fans of the gacha element to it, so it probably got more attention than it deserved. It has its enjoyable moments, but there's nothing too special about it.
てか、お前爆弾解除したのか?
Next is Sanda. Here we have the Santa Claus anime. For the plot of this anime, Japan's most valuable assets is children, because there's so few of them. Christmas has become a mere legend of the past, and to the children, he's just a forgotten fictional character. For the adults though, Santa Claus is a real menace. He's basically a terrorist and must be neutralized at all costs. One day, our main character Sanda is stabbed by his classmate Fujimoro. She is convinced that he is a descendant of Santa and is the only person to make her dream come true. The plot of this anime is pretty interesting, and the world that they built is such a mystery. The art style is pretty unique, and the action scenes are well done. Through the setting of this world, you can feel the real noir and depressing feeling this anime world has. The plot is unique, the characters are interesting, and most importantly, they act their age. They're teenagers being thrust in this crazy world, and sometimes they don't know how to react or even deal with the situation. I found it pretty enjoyable and unique. When they do start boxing, it's well done, and the mystery keeps growing and growing. I like this anime, and it probably deserved a little more attention.
Oh, いつも背景と同化していた人。ひどい。驚きました。あそこから移動できたんですね。私は置物かなんかですか。
Next is a wild boss has appeared. Here we have a video game isekai. Our main character wakes up in the body of his video game character Lufus. I have to say he is a man with a woman video game character. So he's a woman in this world. In this world, 200 years has passed and is no longer run by humans. And it's no longer a video game. It's a world of its own. The characters think, feel, and live just like he does. As he journeys across this world, he meets up with old companions. They may or may not remember him, and the different politics he has to navigate through between countries that are at war or allies. Of course, there's a question of why is he here? It is one of those fantasy animes where the villain is turned into the hero. This anime can easily fall into the isekai trash, where it has the same plots and isekai tropes are the other, but there's something different about this one. I found it pretty enjoyable and has potential to really expand with its characters and the world. There's quality in this anime, some of the fight scenes are really well done, and I really like the art style. The CG could be better. The show both has predictable and unpredictable story elements. The pacing can be a bit odd, but I think this anime flourishes the more episodes get. The dialogue between our characters are great, with splashes of comedic bits that made me chuckle. It's a pretty good isekai, and we are getting a second season.
まさかついてくるつもりなのか？
まだ返事いただけていませんから。
それ冗談じゃなかったのか。
私は本気です。
結婚はしないぞ。
なぜ？
さっき会ったばかりのやつと結婚するやつはいないだろう。
では、アキラに私を知ってもらいましょう。
Next is Dusk Beyond the End of the World. Here we have the anime version of Futurama without any of the cool technology. For the plot of this one, our main character Akira, he wakes up from a long cryogenic sleep to a world he no longer recognizes. The city is in ruin from war, and society is governed by some crazy organization called Orwell. Marriage has been replaced by a new system, and you can marry multiple people. Akira struggles to comprehend this new world, and what he really wants to do is find his girlfriend. But before he could do that, he meets an android that kinda looks like her. And to his surprise, she wants to marry him. Of course he can't do that, so they travel the world to find his girlfriend. This anime looks good, and the plot is pretty interesting, but I just couldn't get into it. I watched like 2 episodes and I dropped it. The animation looks nice, I like the character designs, and it has an interesting world and plot, and they have a lot of creativity to do anything. The main character is a bit stupid, he's a bit naive, and he's really nice. There wasn't much in this anime to keep me coming back each week. Also, Akira has one of the worst harems. It was said best by Gachiakuta.
The future where our choice is lolly, incest, or AI. This is the future anime fans wanted.
Miko-chan. Hinako! なんでびしょびしょなの？昨日、あれからずいぶん迷惑かけちゃったし。
Next is This Monster Wants to Eat Me. Here we have the Supernatural Yuri anime. For the plot of this one, after an accident sent her family to their deaths in the ocean, Hinako keeps returning to the thought of sinking forever into the sea herself. Her only friend Miko, she's able to keep up a semi-happy facade around her, but when she leaves, she's in despair again. One summer, she meets a mysterious girl named Shiori who saves Hinako from a deep-sea creature, and after saving her, she tells her intentions of wanting to eat Hinako. I thought this anime would be a sleeper for fall, and for people who watched it, it was. But for me, I didn't finish this anime. It has an interesting plot, with a lot of development throughout the episodes, but I just wasn't feeling it. I'm not the biggest fan of the supernatural genre anyways, but this anime definitely has more than just a supernatural aspect to it. The characters are emotionally going through it, depression's a bitch, and it feels like all these characters are going through it. It does have some horror aspects to it, and the music's pretty good. It sets up a lot of scenes to really set the atmosphere. I do think it's a good anime, but it's just not for me to really finish.
そうすりゃ解放してやるからさ。
アメリカ式ね。
Next is, Chitose is in the Ramune bottle. For the plot of this one, Chitose is the popular boy in the high school life. Charismatic, confident, and friendly. He's the kind of person others naturally look up to. As popular as he is, he has his haters. Gossip around him is always going around. Saku is the opposite. He lives an ugly life and has stopped going to school and just stays in his room 24/7. Chitose is asked by the teacher to check up on him and bring him back to school. This anime has some hype coming into it, so I had some expectations. The first episode was a double episode to really set up the series. I think it did work in his favor, but I gotta say, I really wanted to like this anime more. It has all the elements in a romance harem anime that I really like. A confident, popular main character who is emotionally intelligent. He understands the feelings from his peers and has confidence to say something. It's not your traditional harem where all the girls around him are all over him, but according to his classmates, they really are. The plot of getting Saku to go back to school is pretty minor, even though it feels like it should be the main one. That plot is wrapped up in a couple episodes, and the second plot really takes over, with Yuzuki. It feels like she is the real main character, especially with the second half of the season. And I'ma say it, these two characters look alike. They start to pretend date because some guys from Yuzuki's past is interested again, and they're not the nicest people. There are a ton of cringy moments, with characters having monologues, or having sitcom level plans to catch someone in the act. It doesn't feel like a real high school story. With so many different characters, they really focus on two of them, but it is getting a second season, so I do hope the other characters get more of the spotlight so we can start having a waifu war. It also faced some episode delays, so the season will be finishing during spring. The delays sucked, but the anime did look better with the second half. This anime is alright in the romance department, so I will be watching part 2 when it comes out. Wait, what was that? Zoom and enhance a bit. Oh damn, this man Saku is a man of culture. Those are some top tier figurines.
サンドラビットってあんなに大きくなるんだね。
あれでも魔物ですから。
Next is Let the Grieving Souls Retire, Season 2. Here we have the continuation of the series, and I like part 2 more than part 1. This anime is your typical action, adventure, fantasy anime, where our main character is overpowered, or at least he's perceived to be. Because no matter what he does, he is always successful. He continues to fail up. This anime really shines when it's not taking itself seriously, where they go on goofy adventures, having terrible misunderstandings, or just beating up on people who need to be humbled. In part 1, there were some times where they try to be serious, and it just didn't work for this anime. This anime is a bit ecchi, the character designs are nice, and this anime is a bit of an acquired taste. It's an enjoyable fantasy anime where you don't have to pay attention much to it, and it can definitely be really goofy at times.
デスクがそんな状態でまともな仕事ができるか片付けろ。
はい。
ご主人様。
Next is My Awkward Senpai. Here we have a workplace romance anime. For the plot of this one, Azusa is the ace of the PR department. She's a no-nonsense worker with an intimidating demeanor. But unbeknownst to her coworkers, she is socially awkward and hides it underneath a facade. Basically, she can communicate well, but it begins to crack when a promising rookie Kamigawa joins the team and Azusa gets assigned to be his mentor. I'ma keep it a buck. I watched one episode of this and I dropped it. It's not like it was bad or anything. I just didn't really have an interest for it. Coming from the first episode, nothing really drew me in to continue watching it, even though I'm a fan of adult romances, because they have the ability to do more. It's probably good or at least above average. I know the manga was pretty popular, and from the reviews, it does seem like to be a good anime. What I found annoying about this anime was the hair. I know the back hair dyed part has been pretty popular in anime the last 5-6 years or so, and sometimes it just doesn't work for every character. For the main character Kamigawa, it just looks a little weird on him. That's a small gripe with this anime. I'm sure it was good, but it just wasn't for me.
今度私にも食べさせてもらえないだろうか。魔物の肉を。
こんなこと。はい。人生で初めて出会ったわ。
Next is Past the Monster Meet Milady. Here we have a monster eating anime. Our main character, she dedicates her time to research culinary opportunities by cooking monsters. Since she is part of royalty, and she's gotten a bad rep because people don't eat monsters here. A crown prince likes this idea and falls in love with her, and they plan to get married. I dropped this anime after one episode. I do love me some good fantasy cooking animes, but I wasn't feeling this one. This anime felt like a bit like the villainous genre, but there's no villainess here. She's just a noble that's outcasted because she eats monsters. It seems like this anime was good, but I wasn't that interested in it. Next is Yano-kun's Ordinary Days. Here we have a rom-com anime. Our main character Yano is an absolute klutz and is always coming to school injured. One day our other main character, Yoshida, she is a reliable, kind-hearted character and decides to get to know him better and help him with his injuries. What starts out as a friendship slowly blossoms into a potential relationship. This is a romance anime done right. It's pretty simple, it doesn't reinvent the romance genre, but what it does well in is that we see progression with our characters and the relationship between them. They start off as strangers, they slowly get to know each other, casual conversations, and then feelings start to develop with each other. There's an emphasis on patience and communication. They talk to their friends about it, they get some advice from them, and then they act on those feelings eventually. With each episode, we see that progression. They find out that they both like each other. It's a simple romance anime done right because it takes those steps to build up the characters, the world, and even the side ones. We see the dynamics with all their characters, and I can't emphasize this enough, they communicate with each other. It's a low-key comedy romance anime that initially gets overshadowed by the klutzy plot, but it does have some actual layers to it, and it's pretty good.
頑張ってね。父様って本当にむっつりですね。
エレン、どこでそんな言葉を？
私は日々学んでいるのです。
エレンはよく学んで偉いぞ。父様はむっつりだけど、母様にだけなんだぞ。
Next is Dad is a Hero, Mom is a Spirit, I'm a Reincarnator. Here we have an isekai reincarnation anime where our main character is born into some crazy parents. It's exactly what the title says, and our characters have to go back to the father's kingdom where he left there over a decade ago. So our main character Ellen, she's thrust into this noble world that disturbs her happiness. This anime has some interesting plots. I watched about half the season before I dropped it. I think this anime would have benefited if it was set in a school setting where Ellen has to go to school and she's very much different from all her peers. Of course she's overpowered, but keeps it to herself. She plays the mediator between the parents because she was an adult in a scientist in her past life. There's a lot of hijinks in here, nothing's taken too seriously, at least at the beginning, and there's some funny dialogue. Well, I felt like the plot was crawling and it was really going nowhere, and I was losing interest with every episode. It felt like just another average isekai reincarnation anime that could have been better.
大丈夫。怖っ。
Next is Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. For the plot of this one, Tojima has spent his entire life chasing a dream, becoming Kamen Rider. Now at 40, it nearly caught up with him that it's just a childhood fantasy. Until one day, he gets caught up in a crime wave led by fake Shocker Gang, the enemy in his favorite show. So he takes the opportunity to make his dream come true. Here we have the anime where a 40-year-old cosplays as Ultraman. This anime is pretty good and I was not expecting it. I really like the character designs in here. They're stylish, bold, and a little steamy. Throughout the series, the animation is a bit inconsistent, especially during the fight scenes, but most of them are pretty good. You could feel the inspiration in this anime from older superhero shows like Ultraman or Power Rangers, and the dialogue can be ridiculous at times. I do like it's an adult cast, and they kind of caught up in the childish act, but it turns out they're versing some real villains here. This anime just felt very unique, and I found the plot pretty interesting, and I couldn't wait for more to be uncovered from it.
Atomic.
無事なのか？
よくも私の爆裂魔法を。
Next is Isekai Quartet 3. Here is the S tiers of isekais. It combines some of the most popular isekais into one show. It's not for everyone because it's a comedy parody anime where all these isekai characters go to school together. It's lighthearted, it's not very serious, and the highlights of the episodes is these characters interacting with each other. They get into different hijinks and just be chilling with each other. It's a nice casual watch, it's fresh, it's engaging, and just a fun time. The characters act like themselves, and it's nice to see all of them get along.
何すんだ！離れろ、コーナー！
何やってんだ。
やめろ投げる本当に何やってんの
Next is Inexpressive Kashiwada and Expressive Oota. Here we have the anime where a tsundere and a kudere walk into a bar. This anime is one of those comedy, school, romance animes where there's a lot of teasing. Our main character Oota, he wants Kashiwada to show some emotion, but she never shows any expressions. So he does whatever in his power to get her to show something. They go through these hijinks and they start to get along. They are polar opposites from each other, but a unique relationship starts to develop between them, and they start to have feelings for each other. This anime is good. There's nothing too special about it, but if you enjoy the teasing type animes, you'll like this one. We do get to see development in their relationship, and even confessing to each other. Once you watch the first couple episodes, it's pretty much like that for the rest of the series. It has the same comedic bits, but some of them are pretty funny. There's misunderstandings, some crazy and obsessive side characters, and hot siblings. It's a light, comedic, enjoyable watch that you can leave on in the background.
今まで何回くらいしたの
9回だ。
なんでそんなの覚えてるのおかしくない
そうか。
ねえちょっとやってみせてよ
Next is Tales of Wedding Ring Season 2. Here we have the hero marriage anime, where in this season is pretty much their training arc. They're trying to get stronger to defeat the dark monsters or something, and improve their relationship between each other. I did finish the series, but I wasn't paying attention much to it. It felt like for most of the season, they were in one area. It could be very boring, and of course the fan service is there. The story doesn't really develop in this season. It's more of a setup for the next one if they ever get one, but it does land in the trash, isekai harem, ecchi genre. With boring development, if I was younger, I would really like the series, but I learned from that, and I didn't really pay attention to the season. Next is Mechanical Mari. Here is an anime I didn't expect to like so much. For the plot of this one, our main character Arthur is wealthy, handsome, and successful, but he's no stranger to the greed of people. He inherited a large fortune in a big corporation that he has to manage. But due to many greedy people that try to take his fortune and his life, he trusts nobody. His butler is unable to hire any servants because Arthur always fires them. So he has a plan to hire Mari, who is a child prodigy in martial arts and is known for her lack of expression. Trying to get that, she accepts his job offer to be a maid but act like a robot. We have a comedy romance anime. This anime is never serious. It has a lot of comedic bits of people trying to assassinate Arthur and Mari hiding that she's a human. The show is pretty average across the board to the dialogue, animation, and art style. Allegedly, there was some AI use in some of the stills, but I couldn't find definitive proof, and I think it was just Reddit being Reddit. With the art style of the show, I could see why people thought some of it was AI generated. Even when I was watching it, some of it looked generated, but I truly believe it was just the art style. I do like our main characters and their interaction with each other and slowly having feelings for each other. It develops throughout the series, and it's just funny because Arthur is a bit stupid and blinded that Mari is a robot when there's so many signs that she's not. The best character is definitely Mari too, because she's a real OG. This anime is fun, comedic, and very lighthearted. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but if you like rom-coms that's not serious, I recommend this one.
終わった？
体育祭の学年の旗を作ろう作りに今から教室へ行こう体育係の仕事をしよう
Next is A Star Brighter Than the Sun. For the plot of this one, our main character Iwata was never cute or dandy like the other girls. Due to her build and strength, she always felt the need to look after her childhood friend and crush Kamishiro. But years passed, Kamishiro grew taller and more confident, and they drifted apart. After reconnecting in high school, her dormant feelings have resurfaced. But this boy shined brighter than the sun. Here we have a school romance anime where our male main character, he's the popular boy that all the girls want, and she is the girl in the shadows. This was probably a good romance anime, but I dropped it after one episode. There was many other animes I had to caught up on, and I had to make strict cuts. It seems like this anime was fine and even above average to the people who watched it, but I'm pretty picky when it comes to romance animes. Something needs to keep me from coming back, and from the episode I watched, there really wasn't anything. The anime looks good, and I do like the plot of them reconnecting again and slowly building up that relationship, but I decided not to finish it. If you watch it, let me know how it was.
おっと時間みたいなんだったら一緒に寝ちゃう私と
Yes! Next is Gnosia. Here we have an anime adaptation of a visual novel. This anime is a sci-fi suspense mystery that is basically Among Us. Our main character Yuri is awakened on this interstellar cruiser, but he has no memories. He's on the ship with other crew members where they have to vote someone out. One of the members is affected by Gnosia that wants to eradicate humanity. At the end of each day, they vote someone out, and see if they got the right person. Every time the game's over, the day resets and Yuri has to figure out all over again. I've never played a visual novel or even heard about it before the anime adaptation, and I feel like the anime could have been better. It's not bad at all, and I find it really enjoyable because I do like the games of Among Us, Mafia, or Werewolf, which they mentioned in the first episode. But with every reset, the Gnosia changes, and even the characters. It just feels like they didn't have enough time because every 2 episodes or so, the day resets. It doesn't give it enough time to marinate and really dive deeper. I'm sure in the visual novel it does, but as an anime format, I felt like it doesn't do it justice. It does the sci-fi mystery well, with some very well-designed characters. I like the colors in it, and in this situation, I'll be folding. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface of it, and I want more from it. Maybe I have to play the visual novels, but if you played it and you watch this anime adaptation, let me know how it compares. But as an anime, it's good, I like the mystery in it, and if you pay attention, you can solve it before Yuri does.
ムーンウォークとはつま先立ちの足さばきを駆使しあたかも前に進んでいるかのように後ろに進むムーブ
Next is Wandance, and this might be controversial, but I really like this anime. For the plot of this one, our main character Kabo, he hopes to spend his high school days quietly and avoid standing out from everyone because of his stutter. While his friend joins a basketball club, he joins a dance club. He is hesitant at first because of an embarrassing memory from middle school that he has avoided dancing. That begins to change when he meets his classmate Wanda. As the two of them learn about each other, she admits she's not great at words either and prefers to express herself with performance. This lights Kabo up and he decides to join the dance club. Every seasonal anime, there's always that one anime that just keeps me coming back even though it's not regarded as the best or even good at all. But for me, I really enjoy Wandance. It just has that flavor to it that gets me giddy with every episode. I feel like this anime does dancing justice with the different styles, techniques, and ways to battle each other. I already know what you're gonna say. The CG is awful. It's not awful, but what really makes it bad is the lack of emotion in the characters' faces during the dance. They're looking like Dexter Morgan out there while they're hitting these crazy moves, just straight face. The music is really well done here. I don't know if they sourced the music or it was originally made for the series, but it was pretty good. I like that they reference real musicians and dancers such as Neo and of course Michael Jackson, which this seasonal anime, this is the second time an anime mentioned Michael Jackson. The dancing was solid, the characters are great, especially the supporting ones. This anime does have hints of romance between our main characters of Wanda and Kabo, but apparently it's a platonic relationship, but I beg to differ. This anime got too much hate from the bad CG, but it does improve later on in the series. But my favorite part of the anime is girls in hats. I don't know why, I'm a sucker for them. I definitely enjoyed this more than most, but they definitely blew the entire budget on having Scatman. Yes, this is the actual scene from it, and it goes on for a bit.
これは ママになっちゃう
Next is Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. Now that's a suggestive title. For the plot of this one, as a vampire, Luna can be considered a unique transfer student. With her cool demeanor, she has become her class center of attention. Ulturi is a completely average guy that would never interact with her. But one day, they are paired together for cleaning duty, and they form a friendship. His impression of her slowly crumbles, as she's not the mysterious, collected girl everyone thinks she is, but in fact, she's unable to suck blood properly. To resolve this issue, she practices on him sucking his blood. This anime is more wholesome than what it sounds like. It's a comedy school fantasy anime with vampires and other urban monsters. It's a fine anime. After you watch the first 2 episodes or so, you know what to expect for the rest of the series. There's probably more character development and backstories, especially with Luna, the vampire. I watched 2 episodes and I dropped it. You know, if you like this type of anime, the cutesy comedy with supernatural aspects, this anime was very average at best.
顔犬じゃんなあ獣人来たってマジうわでっけえ
大きな声で噂しないで
Next is With You, Our Love Will Make It Through. I have no words for this anime. For the plot of this one, our main character Mari, she bumps into a fellow tardy student, but she's surprised to find out he's a beast folk who attends her school. It's not rare for beast folk to coexist with humans, but it's still uncommon with prejudice and all. Mari soon learns more about him, and they find themselves getting along with each other. Their relationship is developing. I only watched the first 2 episodes, but I saw clips later on in the season. When they say they got that dog in you, she means it literally. This anime had interesting plots, with of course beast folk being segregated with where they're living. Some humans are just bigots and prejudice. I thought if they explored a lot of that, it would be interesting, but it's a romance anime. They were gonna explore something else. The characters be kissing, and I'm sure they do more than that. From the scenes I watched, I don't know how far they go, but I think I need to call the cops on this anime. It does take the more wholesome route, and I do like the chibi beast folk, and it's probably more than just a furry series, but I couldn't get past the human and beast love. I can see why people like this anime just beyond the romance, and the animation looks good too, but it's not for me, and I'm definitely not the target demographic.
あなたは魅力的だって言ったでしょ。そしてリンクはそれを分かってくれるとても素敵な男性よ。
Next is Let's Play. Here's another anime I definitely enjoy more than most. For the plot of this one, our main character Sam, she is developing her adventure puzzle game. Despite being ill as a child, she aspires to be a true game developer, but her favorite gaming streamer Martial Law tests her game and gives it a horrible review. With his fans bombarding her game with negative reviews, her dreams are in jeopardy. This anime has a charm to it that really drew me in to keep watching it every episode. Yes, it's very flawed, and the criticism is very just, but looking past it, I still enjoyed it. You can see a lot of the video game inspirations in this anime. There's a ton of references, even with characters' names. You have Martial Law, Link, and the dog's name's Bowser, which I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't sued them. Our characters are constantly going through problems, and some of them tackle some real sensitive topics, but they get through it with each other, they communicate, and there's a lot of emotional and physical baggage that our characters go through. I do like how they visualize a lot of the feelings our characters are going through in certain situations because all of us can relate to that. I do like the gaming aspect of it. It does both the gaming and streaming culture well. Now for the bad, this anime looks like it's in 480p all the time, and in some moments it does look AI generated, but the early forms of anime AI generation. It's just the art style that makes it look like it, but for me it was hard to unsee. It's not a bad anime, it's kind of just average. I do like the character designs, and some of the development our characters go through are really relatable, but sometimes it felt unrealistic and the characters can be annoying. It definitely got a bad rap from the art style and just a standard definition look, but looking past all that, I really enjoyed this anime and I'm excited to watch it every week.
父親の妹は続き柄的にはおばに当たりますよね。そうだけど女子高生におばさんはダメよ。おばごめんね時ちゃん。時おばちゃんだよ。
強いな。Next is Alma-chan wants to be a family. Here we have the stark look in our future of people making AI kids. For the plot of this one, Alma is an autonomous self-learning robot that is created by two genius scientists, Enji and Suzume. The two cooperate in their work, but they can't seem to get along in their personal lives. Despite the constant bickering, there's a bit development of mutual affection for each other, and the feelings don't go unnoticed by their adorable robot creation. Alma begins to learn more about humanity. I found this anime enjoyable. It's a very cute comedy sci-fi anime, romance elements between the two scientists. It's very lighthearted, and some of the action scenes go pretty hard. Even when Alma is put in situations that are pretty serious, like getting kidnapped, she's able to turn the tables by getting the kidnapper to return her and even become a better person. It's a fine anime, you don't gotta pay attention much to it. Once you watch the first couple episodes, you know what to expect for the rest of the series. The highlight of the series was when Alma has to help a classmate get all the dogs that were missing, and all the dogs' names are first names of famous actors. It was a nice touch to an enjoyable anime.
だから絶対に嫌われたくない。まして、アバンジュールの邪魔したとかそんな理由でしてねえから。先生のその妄想癖なんなの？職業病だよ。いいから仕事して。
Next is a mangaka's really wonderful workplace. Here we have a manga anime. Our main character Nana works hard every day and is supported by Kaide, her female editor who is older than her. According to the girl herself, she sometimes drums up intense daydream delusions of occupational illness. I dropped this anime after one episode. Here's another good anime that I dropped. I don't think this anime was bad at all, and even from the first episode, there was some good moments, but I wasn't really that interested. It's a comedy anime centered in the entertainment industry, specifically manga, where there's a bunch of cute girls working on manga. I'm sure there's a ton of misunderstanding, deadlines, and just overworking. There's a ton of different waifus, and some of them are probably otakus. I'm sure this was a fine anime, but it just wasn't for me. If you're into comedy, workplace animes, you'll probably like this one.
シェルターから出られなかったらこんな景色一生見られなかったな。
Last is touring after the apocalypse. For the plot of this one, all alone after the end of days, two girls bike through the empty ruins of Japan, where they're not about to let the collapse of civilization get in the way of sightseeing. Even when the world ends, the journey goes on. Here we have a sci-fi slice of life, where our main characters go sightseeing. The world is over, but their adventure is not. I dropped this after one episode. I can see the vision for this anime, but I just wasn't interested. Visually, it looks pretty good, and it's pretty strange for our characters to have so much optimism when the world is gone. And our characters might have to go through the fields because their world has ended, and they'll see some crazy things along the way. It was lacking something for me to be excited to watch it each week, but it just wasn't for me, so I dropped it. But if you did watch it, let me know how it was. And those are all the animes I want to talk about for fall 2025. This was the last seasonal anime of the year, and even coming into this, it probably wasn't going to be the best seasonal anime, and it did not go out with a bang. It was a fine seasonal anime, and I felt like there was more hidden gems in here, but a bit disappointing because some of the animes I was really looking forward to didn't live up to this hype. Some of the animes I had no expectations for really surprised me. This has been a great year for anime, and is looking even better for the next one. Let me know what you watched this seasonal anime, what was your favorites, your least favorites, and which animes did I miss? Let me know everything in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.